Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about controllers, and more specifically those that handle HTTP GET requests. So basically there are two ways we can do that. One is the legacy way, and there's a newer way as well. So for a long time that was actually the only way, and in the recent years we have this add GET mapping. So let's check the previous version. Add request mapping. So here we need to specify the route with the value variable. So we're gonna check this path. And we also need to specify the method variable that actually tells Spring the kind of request we'll handle with the controller. So request method .get. And the rest of the controller are pretty much the same. So this whole thing can be done with just a GET mapping in the newer version. Regarding controllers, there are two other important things as well that you should be aware of. So you can use either path variables and query parameters. Well, path variables are values read from the path within slashes using the add path variable annotation. And there are query parameters that are used after a question mark and the name of the variable separated by ampersand. And we can use this with add model attribute. So you could ask, when should we use each? Well, when you fetch a specific item, then use path variable. And when you filter or sort items, then you should be using query parameters. So let's give you an example for the path variable. So if we do something like this, so for example fruits /id, then this is gonna be our path variable, and the only thing that's needed is an annotation, and depending on the type of variable it is, you can either use string or actually a number as well, but for now we're going to use a string id, and here we can either use this id implicitly, so this should match, or we can explicitly say that it should bind to the id path variable. You can do either way. And let's check it. So we're gonna log this, and actually let's create another path variable too, so I can show you that the implicit and the explicit way is working too. So add path variable and string id too. Okay, so we're gonna log it to the terminal. So let's rebuild the project. So let's check it. So let's go to /fruits /1 2 3 4 5 6. If we get back, and you can see that the ID is 1 2 3 and the ID2 is 4 5 6. So both the explicit and the implicit way is working too. And last but not least, let's check the query parameter. We can add a query parameter using the add module attribute annotation, and here we actually need to give the query parameter's name. So we're going to be using color as our query parameter, and we also need to set that this is going to be a string, and it's going to be mapped to the color variable. So we are going to log this one to okay. So let's refresh it, rebuild the application, and if we come back here and say that color should be red, now you can see that the color is red, and we have both IDs. So you can pretty much mix and match these into your controllers depending on the requirements. Thank you, and see you in the next one.